What's going on? Long-term review of the NEBO MYCRO 400 LED headlamp. Now, I've had this for about a year, and I'm going to do a little montage here with some cool pictures of it and the specs, because the specs on the Amazon page are a disaster. I'm just going to voice those over. So put that in right here. The NEBO MYCRO USB 400 lumen rechargeable adjustable LED headlamp comes with the following light modes. Turbo, which is 400 lumens, gives you a 30-second burst, throws light out to 80 meters. High is 150 lumens. You get about an hour out of that with a range up to 50 meters. Medium, 50 lumens. Get 2 hours out of that with a range of up to 18 meters. Low is 15 lumens. You get 5 hours out of that, about 10 meter range. Green is 1 lumen. You get 10 hours with 3 meters. And red is 1 lumen, 10 hours in 3 meters. It's USB rechargeable, what they call smart power control, water and impact resistant IPX4. Basically, it can handle some splashes. Battery charging indicator, detachable cap light clip with adjustable tilt, basically a little clip that you can use to clip onto a baseball cap. Direct to red feature, side position button controls, power in modes. Adjustable head strap, one size fits all. Micro USB to USB charging cables included. Powered by built-in rechargeable lithium polymer battery pack. It's 3.7 volts with 200 milliamp hours. Recharge time is about 2 hours, depending on output of USB. It weighs 0.1875 pounds. Dimensions of 2.85 inches by 1.2 inches by 1 inch. Just the light only, not including the head strap or the mount. In the box, you get the Micro 400 LED headlamp, you get an adjustable head strap, the lithium ion rechargeable battery, which is pre-installed and can't be removed from the headlamp, the micro USB to USB charging cable, product manual, and should also include the baseball cap adapter. Now we got that out of the way, let's talk about the light. Like I said, I've had this for about a year. In the box, if I didn't mention it when I was doing the voiceover of the specs, there is also this baseball cap clip that comes with it that you can snap onto the headband strap, which is very nice. That's what I mostly used. Design-wise, looks really nice, very symmetrical, round. The actual specs are, this is about 2 inches across by 1 inch high, and with this adapter on it, it's a little over maybe 1.25 inches deep. So it's pretty small and compact. It's very light. You've got your main light in the center. You got these 2 LEDs on the side, and then there's one button here for power, and then there is the charging port on the side. You can see, I don't know if you can see that. Yep, you've got the charging port on the side, and then you've got this hinge on the back for the head strap, which gives you a ton of adjustability, and that's because you can use it as a baseball cap. So if you got it on your baseball cap, well, you'd have it that way. So it gives you a lot of adjustability. So design-wise, really nice. The design, though, who cares? It's going to be on your forehead. You can't see it, so who cares what it looks like? How does it perform? When I got this, I really wanted to like this. I really, really wanted to like this because it's so light and it's got this adapter. I thought this is going to be perfect. It's going to be great. Immediately, I started getting comments and people asking me, how's it performing for you? Because mine just shuts off randomly. And I didn't have that problem initially. I'm not the kind of person when I get to camp where as soon as the sun sets, the headlight goes on and it stays on. Rarely is my light on. Even if I don't have a campfire, rarely is my light on. Only if I really need to see something or if I'm walking around. And I tend to try to rely on the red beam at night most of the time. You know, sometimes you need, if you're preparing food or whatever, you need to have the headlight on. So I wasn't noticing any issue with that initially. So I'm used to my old headlamp where I could charge that up today fully and use it for, I don't know, 4 or 5 trips and it'd be fine before I had to recharge it. That also had a strobing feature on it. Not this one, but my old one had a strobing feature on it. So when the battery started to get low, it would start to pulse a little bit. And it wasn't like a flash, it was like a little undulation in the light. So you knew, hey, the battery's getting low. And then I just throw it on the charger and be fine. So I was kind of spoiled by that. I had this, I took it out on a couple trips, and well, took it out on 2 trips. On my second trip, and like I said, I don't use it a lot. Second trip, about an hour after it got dark, I turned on the light, I was doing something, went out. I was like, okay, is it dead? Did it maybe get turned on in the pack or something like that? So I charged it up, didn't think about it. That happened to me 4 times. The battery life on this thing is abysmal. I now see on their Amazon page, I got it pulled up right now, that actually says now 3-hour runtime with a maximum runtime of up to 5 hours. And the burst mode gives you 30 seconds. That's bad. So nowhere can I see any information about the size of the battery in this. I mean, obviously it's small, but like the milliamp hours, like the power behind it, there can't be much in there at all. There can't be much in there at all. Gonna interrupt myself here while I'm editing. While I was doing the voiceover, I did find on the NEBO website 200 milliamp hour battery. That's not huge, not big. All right, back to the video. So battery life on this thing sucks. My last test I did with the headlamp, I compared it against this, and I think I got a maximum on the lowest usable light setting, which is the white low. I think I got 6 or 7 hours out of it. I think. It wasn't a lot. I mean, more than what they say, but that's still not much. That other one I have will last 2 weeks on this low setting versus 7 hours. Even if it's 8 hours. In the winter, that's not enough. If you use your headlamp enough, that you're charging out multiple times a trip if you're doing a couple days. So the other downside, at least to the design, that I don't like is this USB micro. And I think I mentioned this last time I did a review on a piece of electronic gear. USB-C has been around for like 10 years. Like available to the public for 10 years. There's no reason for anything that's being released in the last 5 years to have anything other than USB-C. So to manufacturers making electronic equipment, if you watch this, throw your micro USBs out, recycle those pieces of junk, get rid of them. Nobody wants to carry around the little cables you give, garbage. They're this long, they last maybe 3 or 4 charges, and then the wires break. Just get rid of them. Seriously, there's no reason to have anything other than USB-C. And since you will need to charge this while you're out on the trail, and it'll probably be dark when it dies, because that's when you'll be using it, USB-C is easier to find the plug-in because it's reversible. So just USB-C, please stop with this nonsense with anything else. Now, to the light performance of it. We'll go from the best to the worst here. The turbo is fairly bright. It's not the brightest thing, and 400 lumens, there's much brighter headlamps out there. It's not the brightest thing in the world, but for most things, it'll be enough. But you only get 30 seconds of that before it goes back down, it steps down. If you do that 3 or 4 times, you're going to kill the battery. That's how bad this battery is. If you go turbo 3 or 4 times, your battery's toast. The high beam is decent. I don't know what the lumens are on it. It's decent. I mean, you can hike with it and see a decent way ahead of you. But that cuts your time way down. They say 3 hours here. That might be accurate. It might be closer to 2. Medium is probably a little bit better time-wise. It's maybe half as bright as the high. It's still decent for a ground camp. Low is, you know what you're trying to grab and you just need to see where it is. You're not going to see a lot of, it's not real bright. It's functionable. Is that a word? Functionable? It functions well. When you're in camp, your eyes have adjusted to the dark. If you're not relying on it all the time, you'll be fine. But your eyes will eventually adjust that light and it just won't be enough. Those are the main lights. Now there's a strobe as well. Is there a strobe on the white? I don't remember. There's definitely a strobe on the red. Now, on the side of that main beam, and let me point out something too. I noticed this as I was doing this review. I don't know if you can see this. Like, look at this part. When I flip it over, can you see how crooked that is? It's barely seated in there. It's almost like a 20-degree angle. That's bad. So behind this, or alongside this, is your main light, are these two little LEDs. Design flaw number 2. Those are just LEDs. There's no reflector to those. There's no, like, you can see the reflector, the cone inside this, so any light that it's shining out gets amplified. You don't get that with these. So these have a red and a green, and then a red strobe. The green is what you're going to want to use for your really low light, like where you normally use red. You'd want to use the green on this. It gives you a little more light, a little more. The red, there's not even a reason to have it on here. The best way to describe the red light is when you go into red mode at these, the light just kind of falls out of it. You literally can't see your feet with the red. You literally can't see your feet with the red light when you turn it on. It's abysmal, and it has to do with the fact that they're separate. They're just two LEDs. There's no lens. There's nothing to amplify these really dull, dim LEDs. So it's just like, like you can see it when it's on, but it does you no good. What the weird thing is, and maybe this one's just wired bad, I don't know. When I was on the Allegheny Front Trail, it was my last morning. I'd already charged this. I was out there for 3 days. I'd already charged it up the night before. That morning, I got up. I wanted to have everything packed down and, you know, have my breakfast made and hit the trail before it got light, because I knew there was big vistas coming up. I wasn't sure what the terrain was between the vistas, and I still had like 14 miles to get back to the car, so I wanted to get an early start. So I got up, I was making my breakfast, and I went to break down my tent, and this died. And now, the tent was nowhere near. Everything else, my phone, everything else was over by where I had there's like a fire ring. I didn't have a fire going, but I had my water boiling over there, so I had to like find my way in the dark over to where everything else was, and then get my charger. And then I noticed that when it was charging, the red lights come on. The red lights come on brighter when it's charging than they do when you're using it. So I just put the charger in my pocket. I had a long cable, so I put the charger in my pocket, put this back on, and broke down with the charging light. That's not good. It's funny, but it's not good for the product. So yeah, these LEDs, I don't know what they're thinking with these. They should make this a little bit bigger and put these, you only need one of them inside. I mean, there's other lights that do it. There's no reason for that. If you're using this for an emergency around your house, great. If you're using this on a trail, and it just dies. There's no strobe, there's no warning. It just shuts off. So if you are hiking with this, let's say you've had a long day, or you wake up early in the morning and you are sick and you just want to hike out and you need your headlamp, don't rely on this, because when this is done, it's just done. It doesn't dim, nothing. It just shuts off. So if you're hiking, especially like up here in the Northeast, we got a lot of rocky trails. If you're hiking and all of a sudden your light goes out, you're gonna fall. It's dangerous. So I really wanted to like this. I cannot recommend this headlamp to people unless you're using it to have as a backup in your vehicle, but always make sure you're charging it, because the battery doesn't hold the charge. It's unfortunate. I don't like when I buy stuff and it's this disappointing. The best part about this headlamp was the fact that you get that much articulation in the hinge, and you've got this ability to use it on like I don't really wear baseball caps, but if you've watched my videos before, you've seen that winter hat I have. It was made by the company Cole, and they did a promotion with another headlamp brand at one point where they have a patch sewn into it that has the mounting bracket for that headlamp. I was able to modify that patch to accept this, so it's just wearing this in the hat. But that's it. That's the best part of this headlamp. So for less than $20 you're going for right now on Amazon, I guess it's not a bad buy if you're not going to use it often or much when you do. Emergency light around the house, okay, not a bad deal. Using it for hiking, relying on it on the trail, I can't in good conscience tell you that's a good deal. And that sucks because I really wanted to like that light. When I got it, I was like, oh, this looks really nice. It looks nice. They did a lot of work to make it look nice. I wish they would have spent more time making it work well. So NEBO, if somebody from NEBO watches this and you don't like what I said, make a better product, because this is not good. It's, yes, does it function as a flashlight? Sure, maybe for a kid, not for serious backpacking or hiking or being outside where you might actually need to use it. They can't all be winners, I guess. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this and it gave you some good information. If you bought one of these for my first unboxing, I apologize, because I thought this was going to be better. But I guess that just goes to show. The people who reached out to me were like, hey, mine just shuts off. It's because the battery's garbage, that's why. Somebody said maybe it's a test mode. This whole thing might be a test mode, because there's no other modes to it. It just doesn't work well. So yeah, disappointing. Hope you guys get some information out of this. Again, if you bought one of those, sorry, I didn't know. I just didn't know. So that's gonna do it for this one. Hopefully next week's back outside. I did get out this past weekend, but I didn't record somebody's first time car camping. So we just enjoyed it. I'll put some pictures though from I did some night photography. Not great, but just with my phone. So I'll put that up as I'm leaving. Thanks for watching. See you in the next.